Capricorn, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late October 2025. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes or paws in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Capricorn collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we have for the beautiful Capricorns in the late October? And as you can see, my good friends, I am fully in the season spirit. You get to have your cards read by a man lion today. So let me know if you're dressing up this year. I always like to let my inner child roam free. But yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Capricorn. Late October, what's the vibe here? Let's get this first card out nice and quick, please. Okay, the deck is being particular, but there we go. Now, this card seems very calm and very plain, but there's a lot of undertones to the symbolism whenever this shows up. There's a waiting pattern here, so potentially some of you might be in a wait and see or just waiting on something. But there's a lot of other undertones too. There's like this tone of communication and various other things. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the October subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about the card. So again, we see this lovely lady sitting there outside. It's nighttime and there's a big moon in the sky, which kind of represents mystery or very subtle energy. Notice the big golden clock up above. So is she biding her time? Is she waiting on something? Is it a wait and see approach? All of those things can be true. This kind of seems like time could be moving slow, or the time for something is almost upon us when I look at the hands of the clock. Now notice there's also a bird in here, and it is carrying the letter, so there could be some importance around communication when I see this card. So whether it's incoming or outgoing, there could be importance really around that. But whether it's waiting to talk to someone, like there's just a lot of this energy where it's like, we'll see. So watch out for indecisiveness in this time. I'm usually, from what I know about Capricorns, you're pretty decisive about stuff. This energy can very much be like indecisive about things. So we're just going to leave it at that. Again, it's not a bad thing. It's just an energy that seems to be lingering. So we're going to let her chill over there. She could keep waiting. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Let's shuffle it up one time here for Capricorn, please. Let's get it going. The cards are already trying to fly out of my hands. And yeah, while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. So for the past month, a lot of your readings seem to have been focusing a lot on the people around you or other individuals. And last week's reading was titled They Are Watching. So there was some observation. Now, again, I'm not saying you're getting spied on. To me, maybe it was someone or something you were keeping tabs on. Maybe someone's keeping tabs on you. There was very much an energy of like, keep paying attention to this or pay close attention to something. So we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for Capricorn, please. What have we got in late October for my good friends? Okay, Knight of Wands, cool. I do like this card. You know, I love to start a reading with an action card, and that is exactly what this Knight of Wands is. It starts with a bang. If this isn't a fire sign you're connected to. Let's get a couple more here. What do we got for Capricorn, please? Thank you. Okay, 2 of Swords. So yeah, remember I said there was like that moon energy showing up in that oracle card. This is very much the same thing. Okay. I mean, that fire-air combination and then mystery and the action, there's like a lot of stuff happening here. And here's the observational energy once again. So we got the Page of Swords right here on the back. And once again, we are seeing a lot of indicators of other individuals, other people showing up in the energy. So let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first glance, you know, I always like to look at the elements, and we have a nice fire-air mixture here. which for an earth sign like yourself might be a little uncomfortable from time to time, but it's good for moving energy forward. So that's the one thing I like about it. But there is an abundance of air energy when we look here. Now, when I see a lot of swords, that's very logical, plan based. It speaks of the mind, not so fantasizing or imaginative. It's more like logic, set out, planned, strategic. So that is definitely showing up here in a big way. And air also represents communication. So a lot of the little undertones we were picking up from that oracle card are starting to show up here. And we also have fire right in the front. The Knight of Wands and any fire card represents passion, drive, desire, action, forward movement, and momentum, which is good. It can represent vitality and energy levels, so you want to watch your energy levels in this time. But to me, there's always a curveball when it comes to the fire cards because they could go left on you real quick, right? It could be explosive. There's a little volatility to it. So when we mix the fire air combo, I'm like, okay, this energy could really either pick up steam. So for a lot of you, there could be certain things that pick up steam quickly, or it could just go left real quick. So we're going to really want to see. Let's go through this piece by piece and really start to build it out. Position number one, back into this Knight of Wands. Now, we were speaking about him a little bit at length, so we're not going to cover him too much. Again, some of you might just be connected to a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, and Knights represent action and communication. So whether this is a talk or a conversation, message coming in, absolutely. When I think of the Knight of Wands, it wastes no time. It's like, I'm doing this, I'm doing it now. It's usually in a rush, in a hurry. Now, when it represents people, usually they're more outgoing, life of the party type of vibe with the Knight of Wands. Super motivated to make stuff happen quick, so I like that. But the downside to the Knight of Wands is just like I mentioned earlier when it comes to all fire cards, the unpredictable actions that it could take, or it could take a left real quick. So we want to see, is this an explosive energy or is it just an energy that's coming at you? Especially with all the people, and I've been seeing it for weeks now, you got a lot of other people's energy around you and it could be coming in if it's not already there. So we will want to take a very close look at this Knight of Wands. Let's get him tucked back in by this amethyst. Maybe that'll calm him down a little bit. Now, moving to the middle, we have the Two of Swords. And again, if it's a lot of the vibe we were seeing with that first oracle card, you see that person blindfolded, two swords crossed, it's nighttime, we got the moon. So in the classical sense, the Two of Swords can represent confusion and indecision. Similar theme to what we saw. So I'm not saying it's you, it could be someone else where their judgment might be clouded or they're very unsure or not sure how to proceed with something. That's not always a bad thing. You might just need a little bit of time when that energy starts to show up. But the main thing I always say about the Two of Swords, it's one of my biggest cards of mystery in general, very similar to the moon. So whether it's someone's actions, conversation, anything really, it's like, all right, this is not on my radar. So we do want to look at this much further. Okay, and that's for the good reasons and the rough. Now, as we move to the very back end, we have the Page of Swords. Now we have the air sign energy. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, if you're not connected to any of those, pages are similar to the Knights. They can represent communication, speaking, talking. Pages are also students, so they can represent new things, new chapters. I generally like pages, but the Knight of Swords out of all of them is the most defensive. It's somebody that's on guard, very skeptical, keeping an eye out for something. So you might be in that mode when this Page of Swords is here. But the biggest thing, he is the watcher of the tarot deck, just like we saw last week. So again, whether it's something that you need to keep an eye on, something you are keeping tabs on, all of that could be in play. Maybe you're under the microscope when this card is here. If it's not that, the Page of Swords is very, very strategic. So on one end of the spectrum, on the front end, we have an energy that doesn't think things through and just go, go, go. And then on this end of the spectrum, we have very, very cautious, almost hyper cautious. So again, I'm not saying whether that's a good or a bad thing, but these are two totally different approaches. So I want to dive deeper on all of this, Capricorn. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay. Let's get a good shuffle here for my Cappies. What's happening? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot. Because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the Knight of Wands. Where's the Knight of Wands here? Oh, and yeah, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Capricorn, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, let's get that Knight of Wands here. What is happening? Thank you. Just people, people, people everywhere, all around you. Now, I'm not sure if you're the more private type of Capricorn or if you're the more outgoing type, but to me, it's like you got so many people coming your way. And it could be a variety of different kinds, whether it's old friends, people you haven't heard from in a while, romantic partners, if that's something you're interested in, job opportunities. I'm just getting an overabundance of people. And it's been that way for like weeks now, where there's just so many people coming in. So your energy could be hyper magnetic in this time. So again, if you're a private type of Capricorn, this energy might be a little like, oh, that's very people. You might have to do things involving a lot of people. You might find yourself in big groups. This is a vibe I'm picking up here. But aside from that energy where I'm feeling it like, here they come, there's various individuals coming your way. Your phone might be blowing up more than it usually does. The Queen of Swords is very straightforward, more air energy, right? She's serious. She's, straightforward to the point. So when I see the Knight of Wands with the Queen of Swords combination, if we're not talking about the people coming to you, it is serious action where someone might act like they're not planning it out, or they might act like, whoops, that was a mistake, or there was no strategy behind it. But with the Queen of Swords, it's like, oh yeah, no, there was. So there is something here that's planned. So we have the planning showing up, which I think I saw for you a few weeks ago. So I think for you, anything you're dealing with, anything you're doing, Spirit wants you to be very strategic about it. Either that or this is someone else. But you just got so much energy coming your way. Let's keep moving over. We're not going to linger there too long. Let's see what that Two of Swords has for my Capricorns, please. Why is the Two of Swords here? Thank you. And another group of people. Now, this could be really good aside from that people-y energy, because the Ten of Pentacles is great, really. So, under the Two of Swords, this could be an unexpected or a surprising win to me, because the Ten of Pentacles is level up type of energy whenever I see it. It's expansive, it's beautiful, it's solid, it's stable. So, when I see this, it's like, all right, there's something good. You don't even quite see it, or you might not know how you're going to get there, but this is most definitely an unexpected win or victory or a surprising one. But I still need to ride with that message that I'm getting, because notice this is one of the cards that connect to family as well. Groups of people. You see the multiple people. They even got their puppy right there in that card. So there's just so many people in your energy for some reason. And I've seen this for other signs like Leo and Scorpio a lot. They get that type of energy quite a bit, but it's showing up even stronger for you. So again, I'm not sure what group things you might be dealing with, or just all these people, they're just flooding in for whatever reason. So be prepared for that. I mean, if you're a social type, this is a good thing. If you're wanting people to come your way, this is most definitely a good thing. But even if we put that to the side, when I see the Two of Swords, Ten of Pentacles, it's like, okay, even if you don't know how it's going to go well, even if you don't know how you're going to get there, this is like a surprising or unexpected winner victory. So I think that is definitely claimable energy. Let's keep moving. Let's see if we could get more from that Page of Swords. Maybe they'll give us something other than a court card here. So let's see what the page has, then we'll do our recap for the shadow. So why is the Page of Swords here for Capricorn? Please. Thank you. Okay. This energy is hyper, hyper, hyper cautious. So we have the Death card in the upright, big Scorpio vibes. I'm not very concerned about this, and I don't think you should be either. Of course, death represents endings. It can represent the close of cycle. It's also very, very karmic. So when I see this Page of Swords with the Death card, it's an energy that's not very trustworthy. Okay, and I'm not saying the energy coming towards you is not very trustworthy, but when I see the Page and Death, it's like just very, very skeptical. So maybe that's a mood or a vibe Spirit wants you to be in. Remember, I was saying about the planning. Maybe you should be very cautious with the people you're letting in or the people around you. Like, keep a very close eye on something. Um, since we are currently in Scorpio season, when I see the Scorpio card underneath the Page of Swords, I'm just telling you, like, you could be very prone, or much more prone than you normally are, to get a lot of attention. Okay, so whether it's just random and you're out there in the street and it's like eyes are on you, or it's people you haven't talked to in a while. It's like eyes are on you. This screams Leo energy. So it's funny that I'm wearing a lion costume, right? Um, Especially in Scorpio for season for some reason. So you may have something astrologically that really kicks that into high gear. Now, I'm not saying the Page of Swords and this, it doesn't feel like an ending to me, so I'm not going to give that message. But there's just that hyper magnetism that I'm feeling here, Capricorn, aside from the cautious nature that I think probably should be leaned into. But let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadow. So, intriguing stuff. And once again, you just have so many people's energy coming towards you. If you're a very empathetic person, make sure you're grounding yourself and protecting your energy. But if you kindly look in the box, position number one, we have the Knight of Wands with the Queen of Swords. I already told you, here they come, various. So whether friends or otherwise, there's just like so many people flooding on in. But aside from that, there could be something or someone acting in a way where you might think they're being very random, or they might seem very sporadic, or like, whoops, that was a mistake. No, there's more planning behind it than you would think. Either that, or that's the first sign of spirit saying just proceed with caution here. Moving to the middle, you have a great result coming in, even if you don't know how you're going to get there, even if you're going through a rough one now. Two of Swords with the Ten of Pentacles. Beautiful, surprising, unexpected winner victory. It is claimable. And again, more of the people. And we get to the back end, more of the people. We have the Page of Swords with the Death card, super hyper cautious type of energy. So that could be spirit saying, all right, well, with all this energy coming your way, just play it safe. Be cautious about the energy you're letting in. And aside from that, I think within this next zodiacal season, you're going to be much more magnetic than you normally are. And if you're normally a magnetic person in general, it feels like even more so, which could be a good thing. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into that further. Let's see what's in the shadows. All right, let's get a good shuffle here for you. And yeah, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end, just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing too. So let's get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. It's a beautiful way to support the channel. I have much love for all my channel members, and yeah, I'll put it down in the comments. And they're the ones that picked out my costumes this year. I think they pick it every year now, but let's get this card out here for you. That's besides the point. Surprise, surprise. Even in the shadows, guess what we have? Can you take a wild guess? If you guessed court card, you are correct. We have the Queen of Cups. So now we have the water sign. We have almost the whole entire zodiac showing up here this week for you. So you see that just leans more into our message. Now, the thing with the Queen of Cups, all queens represent the internal state, even the Queen of Swords. And the Queen of Cups, since she is tied to the emotional, it's like double down of that energy. So with all these energies coming in, and then Queen of Cups showing up in the shadows, hypersensitivity shows up. So even if you're like a very straight-laced type of person and nothing moves you easily, in this time when I see the Queen of Cups, it's like, ooh, but you might be a little more emotional than you normally are. Watch out for suppression when we see the Queen of Cups too. But she is also very creative. She's a shoulder to lean on, and I feel like there's a lot of beautiful energy around her too. But I always say watch for the suppression of emotion or hypersensitivity to it. So we're going to let her chill out right there, Capricorn. That's what I have for you this week, my friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details. The October subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation and book a personal reading with me, you could check out my digital calendar on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The October schedule is up there and it's filling up quick. So if you want to have a little chat, go over there and check it out. But for the October subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 3 copies of one of the most stunning decks I've ever experienced, the Star Tarot. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments. Since last month, I asked everybody which zodiac sign they get along best with. This month, out of all the zodiac signs, which one do you clash with a little bit there? Drop it down in the comments. You'll be entered to win. And the winners will be announced in the community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.